Now, live from Artie's Cut Rate Liquor Store, shooting range, candle shop, bowling alley, massage parlor, it's the Dave and Doc Podcast.
Hello. Hello.
Happy night. Happy night.
Happy night.
Rocking it late.
We are rocking it really late.
It's good.
It is.
Took too dadgum long for the food to get here.
We're
man.
greased up and ready to go. It's episode 66 of the Dave and Doc Podcast. I'm Dave.
I'm Doc.
All things Dave and Doc on our website at DaveandDoc.com. That's Dave, A-N-D, DocDoc.com for your listening and or viewing pleasure.
That's right. Here
How
we are.
y'all doing?
Everybody's doing good.
Everybody doing all right?
Everybody's doing
It's Christmas time, man.
That's right.
It's Christmas time.
I mean, how about that? Holiday season.
Ho, hose. That's what I knows. Yeah, it's Christmas time. Yeah.
You want to stuff somebody's stocking.
Oh,
Dave
goodness.
Man, party of six.
The conversations we had before the podcast, folks. I'm telling you, one day.
Did you get a tattoo?
I did not.
Oh,
no.
okay.
I was going to.
Okay.
I want to get a tattoo of myself on myself.
You know, Steve-O did that from Jackass.
I think, right?
He got his whole character on the back, on his back.
What did you do?
It's like, dude, there's something not quite right about it.
You know, Butthead said he wanted to get a tattoo of his butt on his butt. You know, I mean, you should do that.
Dude, it's a butthole in your butthole. That's it. But yeah, it's Christmas. It's Christmas time in the city. Almost.
That's right.
Getting it geared up. You ready? Or did you get all your shopping done?
I didn't do any shopping, but
You're so smart.
But
Amazon can help do it for you.
I think Lindsay got all the shopping
That's
done.
good.
So
That's good.
Yeah,
Laura has taken care of most of the shopping too. I will say.
I like this time of year. I did decide this year to take off a couple of weeks.
That's nice.
So yeah, so
I'm also taking a week off. Yes.
look at you.
Yes, and
Look
I'm
at you.
very, very excited about it. Yes, hoping everybody just stays well.
We're going to get together and mud wrestle during the week. It's live on pay per view.
We'll have the kiddie pool outside and
Right.
all the things, and it'll be all right.
Yeah, with
No,
chocolate starfish. What do you,
and the hot dog flavored water.
that's right.
And the stinky pinky, right?
The stinky pinky. My God.
The stink face,
Oh.
Rikishi. You know, I was looking through some of our stuff, and that still, I laugh so hard on that because that clip is
That
on.
was a pretty-
on YouTube. Sign up, watch us.
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you,
it's
thank you.
there.
20,000 plus subscribers. Man, that still cracks me up. The stink face, because I totally forgot about Rikishi.
He did do the stink
man,
face, man.
it's so
And
bad.
yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah, we're almost at 23,000, I think,
awesome.
now,
Thank you.
subscribers. So I'm trying to push for 25,000.
And you know you're coming
year.
for the ADHD and the humor, and that's it.
You are.
And so we're going to do some Christmas dad jokes. We're going to go ahead and roll on into it
Here
here.
we go.
All right, you ready?
Santa only comes once a year.
That's right. Down the chimney with care. In hopes that no hot pokers will be lying right there.
Right.
What song does Beyonce like to perform during the holidays?
What is that?
All the jingle ladies, all the jingle ladies, all the jingle ladies, all the jingle ladies.
Da da da. Da 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 da.
Oh, man.
She's still alive, right? She's still alive. Just making sure.
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure.
And Filthy Rich. She's doing all right.
She's yeah.
Doing all right.
Yeah.
What's a sheep's favorite Christmas song? Fleece Navidad.
Oh, thank you. Because I didn't want to have to answer.
we know we brought the sheep up before. The sheep gets
Yes.
you, man, because it just goes all kinds of bad
That's
places.
some bad stuff.
That's it. Who's the snowman's favorite rapper?
Vanilla Ice.
Ice Cube. That
Oh,
was close.
of course.
Ice Cube. That was close.
What about Snow? Remember Snow?
Informer? Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I lick you boom boom.
God, that's
Nobody knows what he's.
No.
Somebody stabbed someone down the lane.
that jackass. He was famous for about 37 seconds.
Well, then he had the follow up song, whatever it was. But it, anyway.
Yeah.
What did one Christmas tree say to the other?
Get the hell out of here.
I'm feeling pine.
Oh.
Ooh. What kind of salad do they serve at the North Pole?
Tossed
Iceberg lettuce. Iceberg.
Just a little sneak peek of where we're going tonight.
Just make sure that you wash it off.
That's right.
That's it. In the sink. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Snow.
Snow who?
Snow one's better than you are.
Shit.
All right. We'll get one more.
All right.
I lost it. It was a good one to close out, and I can't find it now. Shoot. Hang on.
What's Santa's favorite porn?
Right. Oh, here it is. Hang on. Yep. What's the best Christmas gift to give?
Oh, what's that?
The clap. No. A broken drum. You wanna know why?
Why?
You can't beat it.
No, you can't. VD's nothing to clap about. Oh, Lord.
What did the Christmas tree say to the ornament?
What's that?
You want to hang out? What did Santa say to the comedian? Last one.
Okay, all right.
What did Santa say to the comedian?
Okay, what?
Oh, you slay me.
Oh, my God. My God. Hey, you were talking about Santa going down the chimney and worried about fire pokers and stuff. I have exclusive Christmas audio
Of what happened when he hit the poker?
This happened just a few years ago in a neighborhood that we lived in. We heard it all the way at our house.
Oh, my gosh.
Up on the rooftop, click, click, click. Down came Saint Nick.
Down the chimney came good old Saint Nick.
And then there was a hot poker in it. Oh, shit! Yeah. It alarmed.
It was a bad day.
It was.
Singed his anus hair.
It was.
Cauterized that hemorrhoid, though, so he felt a lot better after that. Shrank right back up in there.
Right back up in there.
That's right.
Right back up in there.
No more bleeding. No more leakage.
Man, I think I'm allergic to Captain D's. I'm nervous about this. So we had so you folks know that like when we do the show on Friday nights, Doc comes by and like we always order food and and whatever.
Man.
And so we ordered some Captain D's.
I don't know what we were thinking.
And we did, and like we ate. I mean, just a shitload of fish. It was just he and I. Everybody else was gone, and they were eating somewhere else. And so we're just like down in this grease piled mess.
We didn't put hot sauce on it. We actually had some good judgment there because
I've got. I mean, like now my nose runs and like I've got my.
You got gustatory rhinitis.
It's. I think I'm. Yeah. I mean,
you're stimulated by the fish.
I am.
The fish is
like my heart rate got up to like 96 beats a minute. Like I think I'm stroking out or something. I don't know. My nose is running.
Maybe you have a mild food allergy.
Maybe I do.
I don't know if it's Alaskan pollock. I don't think it. Maybe it's cod. I don't think it's cod. They used to always just use cod. What kind of fish did the Long Johns?
I'm glad you asked. It was Alaskan whitefish.
There you go.
Because they're racist. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Right?
No, it was Alaskan whitefish. I'm pretty sure it's what we.
Well, it's delicious.
What we used to tell the new employees though that it was sewer bass. That's what.
Stop.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
When inevitably a new employee would always say, "Hey, where does this fish come from?" Like, well, it's sewer bass. I'm like, really? I'm like, oh yeah, it's sewer bass.
That's terrible.
Love me some Long Johns, man.
Terrible.
I know it is soft. I love me some Long Johns.
I know, but we don't have one close, so we had to get the D's.
What the hell's wrong with the world, man? Why are Long John Silver's closing down? Why do we have more coffee shops opening up and more Long Johns closing? I don't understand.
That's a good question. I don't know either.
These coffee shops opening up everywhere.
I guess that's what.
How hard is it to make a effing cup of coffee?
I guess that's what people want. They want coffee instead of,
I guess,
batter dipped fish with hush puppies and fries.
Why can't you have both? Why can't you dip your fish into the coffee?
In coffee?
Well, listen,
Dave.
You would not believe how many people, particularly on Saturday nights,
nasty.
ladies and gentlemen,
Stop! Don't.
would order a lot of coffee and they would have fish too. And I'm just thinking, the bathroom trips that you're going to make. Can you imagine?
That's gross, dude.
Because caffeine and grease. People used to love drinking coffee after their fish meal. We would serve tons of coffee, tons of it.
You're kidding.
No,
That's nasty.
no, heroin too, but lots of coffee.
Did you ever have anybody accidentally drop some tartar sauce in the coffee instead of the creamer?
Well, it wasn't tartar sauce, but yes,
It was special sauce.
no, we didn't. But we did have a guy that worked there. His name was Larry. And we
course
paid him
it was.
right, and we paid him $20 to drink a
Was
whole
it Larry
bottle.
Flint?
No, we paid him $20 to drink a whole bottle of Tabasco, and he flipping did it. Dude did it
For $20?
for $20. Just, I mean, and it wasn't like he took his
Oh,
time.
man.
Like, okay, well, between
Hey,
5
that's
o'clock and
bad.
11 o'clock, I'll do it.
Yeah.
He did in like 30 seconds. He
Oh,
downed it.
Dude.
I'm like, dude, you need to go like throw up. He goes, nah, I'm all right. I'm like, no, you're not.
That's when we knew Larry was a nasty SOB.
And then, and about
that's-
30 minutes later in the bathroom,
Right?
you know.
Oh, my
But
God.
yeah.
Shoe.
yeah, shoe.
Speaking of shoe,
Speaking of shoe,
I don't know. I was trying to say
no, Home Depot.
Shoe on Home Depot. Oh, you got your appliances. Hey,
We did.
Lindsay can't figure out any of the drawers or anything.
Very difficult to slide those out.
Apparently, yeah, right.
So this was a debacle from the beginning, and I told you guys the last time we talked about like how hard it was just to
have
get the
worst.
thing ordered.
You have
I know
the
I
worst
do.
luck, man. You have the worst.
This shit
luck.
only happens to me.
I just don't understand why.
And
There's
so
always it's not. This is legitimate. This story is confirmed.
so they said, hey, it's going to be delivered on Friday, last
Right.
Friday, which is the 8th, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
So we said, okay, well, we don't need this stove and refrigerator because we actually have another refrigerator, and a deep freezer.
We sold it.
And so we sold it, and people came and picked it up, right?
Right, naturally.
And so by
good.
Thursday night, it's all cleaned out and ready for the Friday delivery.
Yes.
That didn't happen.
Ooh.
So I called the Home Depot and I talked to Ariana, and I said, "Hey, Ariana, how are you?"
Was it Ariana Grande?
It was, and
Got one less problem without you.
and she said,
One less problem without you.
she said that yeah, I show it. It's supposed to be delivered today. I said, well, it's funny because if you click on the thing, it says track my delivery. It says they be a problem, Dave. There's a problem. There's a problem. And I said, Ariana,
And I can clearly see there's a problem because it's not here.
yeah, because it's not here. So she said, well, let me check on that. She did a great job. By the way, I want to say she did a great job. She called the warehouse. She called LG.
Good job, Ariana.
We got LG appliances.
You get big ups.
And so here's what happened. She said, so they're unloading the truck and your stove got there. I said, okay. And she said, so there's a good chance that your refrigerator's on the same truck, but it's just not been unloaded yet. I said, okay, cool. And this is the warehouse that's going to bring it to us, right? And so I said, okay. I said, she's like, so give us a couple hours, call us back after they completely unload the truck, and they'll probably deliver it tomorrow, which would have been Saturday.
And you're like, okay.
All right, it's not a big deal, right? So we start calling.
The twist.
Lindsay starts calling, and
Twist.
the refrigerator, they didn't know where it was.
Oh.
It was shipped, but they have no idea where it went. None. No idea. It's somewhere.
Don't they barcode that stuff?
Well, you would think they do inventory and all that kind of stuff, but apparently not. And so we said, well, that's great. So we're not going to have a stove. So refrigerator we can get by, but a stove is kind of necessary, right? And they said, well, we won't, we won't deliver the stove by itself. They said, now you can cancel the order for the refrigerator and then we'll deliver the stove, but you'll have to reorder the refrigerator. I said, well, that seems, hey, I'm just an old country boy from Virginia, but that seems kind of flipping stupid to me. And they
You
said,
can cancel the order.
yeah. So,
This is
continue to
not
call.
funny phase. Wait.
Yeah, so like nobody knows where this refrigerator is, right?
That's not good.
And so LG finally says, okay, we're going to have to ship another one. I still don't know where the other one's at, right? So LG finally ships the other one, and we have no idea when it's going to get there. And like we're like, okay, great. Hopefully it's going to be here like, Monday or Tuesday.
This week.
And no, we get no updates. And they say, well, listen, they will call you the night before to make sure you're ready for the delivery.
And said, we're ready.
Right. And so
We've been ready.
we keep calling.
We don't know where it's at. Somebody needs to help.
Yeah, and then today, magically, it's on its way. Still never got a call. No one ever called. No one ever called and said, Hey, man, it's on your way. I got an email today that said, hey, your delivery is 2 stops away. Oh,
Wow.
well, that's great to know.
Glad somebody was here.
Right?
Wow. Man, I don't understand what's going on.
And then when they get here, right, it won't fit through the door, the refrigerator, because it's
no.
you know, it's a bigger refrigerator. So they had to take our door off, and I'm like, oh God, this is going to be disastrous.
Oh,
We are so lucky that everything is installed and it appears to work. The lights come on, it dings at you. It's on our network now,
but they had to take your door off.
but they had to take the door off,
Your front door.
the front door. Yeah.
How was that?
I don't know. I had kind of an emergency.
You said I can't.
So no, I had we had like an emergency at work today in my department, and so when I got home, I had to like go right out to the shed to like get on calls and stuff like that. So we had some issues. So like Lindsay was here and she was giving me the play-by-play, like they're taking off the door now. I'm like, shit.
It's like that's.
They know they're putting it back on, or they're not leaving, right? Like I will physically restrain
that
them.
was not in the playbook here that we had to take the door off.
And the best thing is Home Depot, right? Their response to all this is like, we're real sorry. Call us back and we'll make sure you're compensated. What the hell does that mean?
What
does that
I
mean?
mean, what does that mean? I don't
Is
even
that
know
a
what
$10 gift card? Do we get a macrame owl in the mail? I mean, do we get, a massage with a happy ending?
Shar-Pei puppy.
I mean, like, we get a Sharpie pup. Dude, is that what we get? Anal cleansing?
Maybe. Hot poker.
Hot poker?
Could be.
Chocolate starfish.
I mean, you'll get compensated.
guess.
Did you have to pay a delivery charge?
Or
Or was that included in the
So here's the
because of
thing.
the value of the purchases? Because a lot of times they'll waive it if you.
So there's no delivery charge per se,
But they built it in.
but you have to pay for like inside delivery. That's what they call it. Or else I guess they just leave it in your effing drive. Oh no. No. Inside delivery. And I also paid for removal because we weren't sure if we could sell it in time. So we wanted I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. So we'll have them put it in the garage if we haven't sold it by then, but we'd already sold it. So I'm at least going to get all that money back. I'm going to make sure.
I mean, they ought to. Yeah, I mean, at least they should waive the delivery fee or something.
They should come and give me a happy ending. The Home Depot happy ending. Sponsors of College Football Game Day.
And bukkake.
And bukkake.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I wonder what they'll do.
I don't know.
So when are you gonna call them?
That it'll probably be Monday, I guess, when we call. But
I guess probably not on the weekend. That's
yeah, so we'll probably call them on Monday, and
maybe
then
they'll throw in a free little drip pan for your air fryer for your oven.
okay, yeah, we definitely need one of those because
One that actually fits the pan.
we don't have 700.
Because you don't have one that fits.
We actually have a stone pan that
Lindsay demonstrated it.
She demonstrated with the one pan that she decided to demonstrate it with. We also have a stone pan that would work just fine.
There you go. See, you know your inventory.
I do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She just, she just wants new shit.
So that's right. And just wait, 2 or 3 years from now, you'll be getting another one. And I'll still have my original refrigerator that's currently present and our stove. Our range.
I'm just glad you guys have lights in your kitchen and everything.
I know, isn't that nice?
It's so nice.
That's very nice.
Because I was there before and you're like, yeah, it is what it is.
Dave frequented the house before we'd not been in there very long.
No, you hadn't. You just moved in.
I guess literally a month not because we were going to go to Oaks. We were going to go to Oaks Farm that time.
That's right.
That's what happened. And the line to get in there was so crazy from the road.
We went back to your house.
We just went back to the house. Yes. So that was October. Would have been October.
Yeah.
So we literally would have lived there for probably right at 2 months.
Yeah.
And we had not had the people coming in to do a lot of that install for that stuff. So so we were still hanging out.
It's like,
there was some existing lighting, so that part was okay.
it's like it gets really dark in here.
But it was there was nothing in the kitchen. And there was nothing hanging up in the and the little eating area. But we did have, the recessed lighting in the living room.
Yeah, yeah.
And we had a lamp. We had lamps.
Yeah.
So, that was...
Just knowing you and just...
Oh, it was terrible. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It was awful. I mean, I couldn't stand it.
No.
I mean, it was... oh, man.
When we were building
I
this
think
house,
back
there
on
was
that.
times that I couldn't even come in here. I'm like, I don't want
Man,
to.
it hurt me. No, it was... Because we had to do a few things. So, but, yeah, when you visited... Yeah, but we got lights now.
Yeah, you got lights now. Yeah, we were there for the impromptu birthday party.
Jingle, that's right. Jingle the elf likes to hang from the lights, and Shep the shepherd, your favorite, he gets his staff out and hooks on. Right?
Shep the shepherd.
It's awesome. Shep's a good guy.
You have Dill the pickle too? Is he there? Is he there?
I thought you were going to say something else. Oh.
My name's Dill.
Mike.
And I'm a slimy pickle.
Mike Hunt.
Yeah.
And Dill Pickle.
Mr. Hunt, your party's here for you. Mr. Michael Hunt. Mike Hunt. Party of 3. Mike Hunt. Party of 3. I may or may not have done that in a Walmart a couple times. One of the best things I ever did was I was there with a group of friends, and we would always we'd go to the front desk and and he was like 20 years old, and we'd say I forget, it was like Jim Smith, can you page Jim Smith and tell him that his mom and dad are here to pick him up? Jim Smith, your parents are here at the front desk, and you could almost hear him going, "You're a bunch of assholes." Oh.
It's good times.
We used to pick up the phones, and Lowe's and stuff, and we'd say stuff,
Back when you could get away with that.
Well, back when you get away. In the lumber aisle, it's all 2x4s are 95% off.
And it wasn't that big of a deal.
No, it was just
nobody
funny.
lost their mind.
It's funny. Cleanup.
Got some
on
big
aisle
wood
7.
back here. Big wood back here in lumber. Big wood.
Yeah, cleanup on aisle 7.
Nice and clean. Nice and clean shaven wood.
Someone's taking a big shit in aisle 14. We're going to need some cleanup.
See,
big shit in aisle 14.
Now everybody loses their mind. It's crazy.
Everybody gets upset.
Of course,
about
it's
the wrong
different.
things.
And I get it. It's a different day anyway.
It is. You can't make fun of people that shit in stores because maybe somebody has a problem. They have to
right.
shit in stores.
Yes.
Right? Because
They have a faulty anus.
my anus. I just got mine bleached. I feel like this grease is going to interact with it. I'm not sure. Got a greasy anus. Do I come to your office for that? A greasy anus?
You can show up. I'm not sure what that'll look like. I mean, every now and then somebody will have a case of mud butt, and it's,
I got the mud butt.
Man, yeah. When I was in residency, this poor guy, he did not really do a good job of wiping himself.
Oh,
And he would show up for his yearly exam. And I mean, it was like somebody melted milk chocolate in his ass cheeks. And it was terrible. And I mean, you're having a problem.
I am, man. I'm allergic to grease. Flipping.
Your eyes are dilated. It's something. What they put in that must be a delayed reaction because I'm not having any of that. I just feel like I'm about to crap all over the place.
I just did.
It's okay. You feel better now.
I
Don't
do.
you?
I feel much better.
Release the beast. I heard about you in that ramen with all the hot sauce.
That was rough, man.
Sending out the smoke signals, and your
rough.
wife and your young nuggets coughing.
Pax is up there coughing because the whole house smelled like Apollo hot sauce. If you've ever watched the YouTube series Hot Ones, Apollo's the hottest sauce they have. So we have some of that. And so, I was using it on ramen noodles, and I accidentally dumped half the bottle in there.
There's
I used
no way
ghost
I would
peppers.
have eaten that. You're crazy.
It was rough, man.
I bet.
It was rough. Hey, you mentioned milk chocolate, which is funny because I wanted to talk about M&Ms. And let me ask you, because
melts in your mouth, not in your hands.
Not in your hands, or your anus.
That's right.
If I said to you, "Hey, Doc,"
is this like word association? I love
so I said,
okay.
If I said, "Doc, what is the weirdest way do you think one would could consume M&Ms, our favorite chocolate candy?
The weirdest way.
The strangest way that you would assume someone would consume
Butt
one.
chugging.
That'd be weird. That'd be weird.
Crush them up and sniff it through your nose.
Oh, are you warm?
Crumble it up. Stick it in your ear.
Yeah.
And try to pull it out through the eardrum. You have to perforate your eardrum, though.
Wait, is that weird?
No,
I'm just kidding.
or you reach through your throat, up through your nose, dab your finger on a wet one, and pull it back down through your.
What if you could do that?
If you sniff enough cocaine, you can. Because
So-
it eats out your sinus cavity.
Well, so it's funny that you say that.
I was close with the sniffing.
You were very close with the sniffing. Sniffing.
Melting it down and-
Idaho man snorts peanut M&Ms by color in record time. Snorts them.
Let me hit this line here of the M&M.
His name's David Rush.
Of course it is.
He snorted 17.6 ounces of peanut M&Ms.
That
in 1 minute and 14 seconds.
I mean, he has a cocaine problem.
I mean,
there's
clearly.
no way that you don't have a cocaine problem if you can do that.
Yeah.
Or roxycodone or something. I mean, obviously, because how else would you find out you could do something like that?
Yeah.
Because nobody starts out. Well, let's see here. I started out. I have had a couple of beers. We're at this party. I think who has M&Ms?
Yeah.
No, they say, hey, look at this white powder. Woo! That guy has. Yeah, he has. He has. Yeah. I'm gonna get charged with slander.
So that's an actual Guinness book. I mean, it's in the Guinness Book of World Records. It's a Guinness World Record.
They have a Guinness World Record for how fast you can snort peanut M&Ms.
Apparently.
Well, that asshole can have it. He can have it.
Uncontested.
Cheers to you, uncontested man.
So
Cheers to you, uncontested record.
So this
Do you remember those
me,
commercials?
Yes. So this is it got me thinking. It got me thinking, Dave. That'd be funny. Like, what are some other weird
not sniffing
records?
it.
Right, that Guinness has.
Is there a hot sauce on
it's record
ramen
books.
record? I bet you got that.
It's that's of course that's just got my picture and it says nobody is stupid enough to do this. One of those is cycling backward with a violin. That's
Distance or time?
let's see, 60 kilometers in 5 minutes, 5 hours and 9 minutes.
60 kilometers
while sitting on the handlebars facing the seat, which had been converted into a music stand, and he played some.
Where was that done?
Some Bach. Let's see. Maynardville. No.
Shut up.
No, I don't. I actually have no idea. It doesn't say. But yeah.
Oh my God.
Another one is the most snails on your face. Put snails on your face.
No.
Finn Keeler, age 11, of Sandy, Utah.
Finn?
Yeah.
Finn.
F-I-N.
Finn Y.
Finn Y. Of Sandy,
Real
Utah,
American
covered his
heroes.
face with 43 live snails. And that broke a previous record, which meant somebody else did this before. Yeah. The most crushed eggs with a head in 1 minute.
Oh, Lindsay could win that.
Right? In 1 minute, a sheet.
No, stop.
A Sheetra Furman crushed 80 eggs with his head.
In a minute.
The most people brushing their teeth simultaneously.
745.
10,800 students.
That's stupid.
Yeah, in the
Where was
in
that
the
at?
Philippines.
Stop.
I-
Stop.
I mean,
Wow.
largest collection of sick bags, and I didn't know what a sick bag was.
Like a vomit bag?
yeah, on an airplane.
like on the
That's what it
airplane.
was.
Yeah.
This fuck stick's got 6,016 of them that he collected over
From planes?
Yeah, over 40 years, this guy collected these from planes in 160 countries. It says, thankfully, none of the bags have been used.
There's
This is going to gross you out.
pathology there.
This is gonna gross
It's
you
going
out.
to take a lot to gross me out.
Longest ear hair.
Yes.
Yes.
6
I
feet.
can't pronounce the guy's name.
6 feet.
From India,
6 feet.
13.2 centimeters.
Wow.
I don't know how long that is.
So you're looking at like 5 inches.
Like
They're
5 inches?
2.54 centimeters
Yeah.
in an inch.
So like 5 inches of ear hair.
I mean, that's
Seems like it'd be more than that. That like your hair grows like 3 to 6 inches a year, though, doesn't it?
Depends.
Where's Chelsea at when you need her?
Right.
Let's call her up.
Call her right now.
Say hey.
But I mean, it's just one ear hair, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's pretty long. I mean, it's longer than anything I got. Hey-oh!
Wah, wah, wah.
The largest Smurf meeting ever. Well, Dave, what the hell are you talking about? On June 8th, 2009.
Is that like steampunk?
It's on June 8th, 2009. 2,510 students. Let's be.
I am the Viking.
Students from.
I am Viking Smurf.
What is this? Swansea University.
Swansea.
It's in Kentucky.
Swansea is Swansylvania.
It's in Kentucky. No, I'm sorry. It's not in Kentucky.
Transylvania.
That's not Swansea
Pennsylvania
University.
University.
It says I was going to make a joke about UK and say it's in Kentucky. It's not. It's in the UK. That's why I can't pronounce it. Got dressed up together as Smurfs and stood in a square. 2,510 students.
Swansea.
Most married person. Linda Lou Taylor of Indiana. How many times do you think she's been married?
27.
Shit, dude, that's close. 23.
Dang. I overshot.
23 times. Man. Well, me too. A couple times. I'm lucky because we'd have had a bigger house. But yeah, so she. What the? Oh, shit! But
23 times. I mean, that's a lot.
23 times. What the hell were you thinking?
She like a praying mantis?
I don't. A black widow.
I kill him. It's like that. Yeah, gotta keep going.
Highest jump by a guinea pig.
Shut up.
Yeah. Belongs to
Dave
Puckle Martin. Who
Shut
jumped
up.
20 centimeters.
Puckle Martin.
Puckle Martin. No Pucky.
Shit.
Oh, Pucker.
Why,
That
man?
mother Pucker. He jumped 20 centimeters on March 16th, 2003. He's owned by Maud Herman of Sweden.
Stop. Muckle by Maud. Maud and Muckle.
This one doesn't have a name associated
Puckle.
with it, but I wanted to say it anyway.
Was it Muckle or Puckle?
It was Puckle.
Puckle, sorry.
Puckel. It could be Puckle. It's a Puckle. It's in Sweden. It's a Puckle.
That's not even close.
Is it a Puckle?
That's not even close.
No. The last one is the hardest kick in the groin. His name is... No, I'm kidding. No.
Slim Shady.
It doesn't have his name, actually. It just says...
Right, because who would actually...
Yeah. But
who would cop to that? I said kick me in the jimmy. Whap. Guinness World Record. Hell yeah. No. No. Why? Who? Yeah, just kick me as hard as you can in the jimmy. Let's just see what happens. Fast as you can, as hard as you can, right in the groin. So it's all good.
Kick me in the Jimmy.
It'll all just hurt for a little bit.
It's not a big deal. Just a little Jimmy hit.
Oh, what?
You imagine that?
Well, I mean, especially if like there was a lot of fourth generation, and not only did you hit the scrotum, but you hit in the taint. You know, that pointed toe right in the
taint.
gooch.
Right in the gooch.
I feel like somebody racked me. Anyway, sorry. What was it?
I have no idea. It didn't say. It had no other information. It just said hardest kick in the groin. It said check out the video below, and I tried to check it out before the show, and there's no video. So
no, maybe that one's not legit. Then maybe that's just they were fishing. They were trying to.
I mean, they're measuring guinea pigs jumping.
That's true.
I mean, slam dunk championship. Sorry, Clyde. Sorry, Jordan. Puckle. Puckle the guinea pig.
MJ.
Puckle.
Puckle's winning.
Bart Stillwell wins.
Peppy Bennett and Puckle. Puckle and Peppy.
So since we're going to probably get into some sports stuff here that's going to take some time.
Guinness World Records and sports.
Since some sports stuff's going to take up some time, I'm going to
I can't imagine what you want to talk about.
I'm going to give you some...
I mean, not that we've been stewing on it for 2 weeks because we couldn't get together last week.
I'm just saying. I give you a this or that before we get into sports.
Yeah, I like it. We hadn't done this in a minute. So
we can talk about a lottery ticket or a tech support call about porn. Your call.
Is that like the speed of the internet thing?
That is inaccurate. Yes.
I want that.
That's the one you want?
The porn call. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right.
So
As Dave sweats it out, you've got the fish sweats.
okay. I got the fish sweats.
It's permeating out of him, Jesus.
I snorted all the crumbs. That's what I did. I was like,
Man, the bonus batter, man, that was good tonight. That was good. That was good. You all right?
Yeah, no, I think
Do you need me to fan you off?
what me off?
Fan.
Oh, well, no.
Yes.
I thought you said something
You were
else.
hoping for something else.
I was going to jump right on that.
It's okay.
I was going to jump higher than Puckle.
It's okay.
That mother pucker. He jumped. Look at that. Can you imagine
Puckle 20
commentating?
centimeters.
Let me tell you something, folks. If you're in broadcasting and your first job is to broadcast and announce the play-by-play of guinea pigs jumping, you've hit the bottom of the damn barrel.
Right.
Let me just tell you.
There's nowhere to go but up. There's nowhere to go but up.
I did a rough and rowdy brawl one time. That's a good story. I did. I got to MC, I got to go in the ring, and this really big fat guy got pissed off because he thought I was getting paid more than him.
And
It's a good story, man.
And you were like, oh no.
I was getting a hot dog. That's what I got. I'm not kidding. I got 2 hot dogs and fries and a drink for coming out and doing the work that night. That's what I got. No joke. No money. I mean, I got in free and got to watch people beat the shit out of each other. That was fun. I got to do it ringside, right? So my hot dog had some blood on it. That was pretty good.
You just thought it was ketchup.
I just thought it was ketchup. It's a little ketchup.
Hot dog. Hot dog.
So,
hot diggity dog.
A friend of the family, and I'm not going to say the name.
And this is a tech support call about porn.
Yes.
All right.
So this person calls me middle of the day, and I'm working.
Oh, they called you.
They called me first. They called me first.
This is starting out. Okay. This is starting out good.
Because, you called Dave.
Is this in the Guinness Book of World Records?
Well, I maybe. So this person leaves me a message and like, hey, you give me a call. I'm having a problem with my phone, my cell phone. Oh, okay. And they didn't elaborate on what kind of issue.
Right. And you're like, wait, I'm calling you and you're having a problem on your phone.
Yeah.
That's
Which to me, I mean, I get this kind of stuff a lot, right? Like, I mean, it's pretty,
because you deal and you understand.
This is what I do.
I understand.
So, so when they couldn't get in touch with me, because apparently it was an emergency, they called Lindsay.
Oh.
And they explained to Lindsay what the problem was. The problem was when they were watching porn movies
on
their phone of Asian women.
No.
Yes.
Dave.
Yes. I'm not making it up.
Dave.
The problem was when they started the video, let's say it's a 10-minute video.
All right.
Right? Okay.
Okay.
A lot of plot twist in that 10 minutes. A lot of plot twist.
Dave.
So while they're so a 10-minute video, the problem was there was a glitch on their phone that caused the video to go really fast, and they couldn't make it normal speed. So
I'm in a time window. Hang on.
So so I finally talked to the person, and I say, "Hey man, what's up?" And he says, he's like, "Well, man, when I'm watching my porn," he said.
Oh my God. Stop.
He said, it's going really fast. I said, what? He goes, yeah, man, like some of these videos are like 10 minutes long. And he says, man, it's just, and he goes, it's just kind of like, digga, and they're done.
He said, digga.
And he said, I mean, I know these things happen fast, man, but I want to watch it. Like, I'm glad I took time out of being a father
to help you with your.
I'm very sorry that you're watching speedy porn. So maybe it is the Guinness Book of World. How many porn can I watch?
That's right. In 10 minutes.
He's like, man, he said, after a long day of work, he said, I'd like to come home and watch my porn. I'm not kidding.
I draw the shades a little bit, Get me a nice warm bath, light some candles, have an evening for myself, and then rub one out.
Hello.
Sometimes, that's right. Sometimes, you sit on your hands till they go numb, and then get yourself a stranger. I mean, it's
Stinky
sometimes.
Pinky.
I mean, sometimes you just want it your way.
What? What hole
with
does that go in, Jimmy?
But yeah, the sped up Asian
So he's
porn
watching
will certainly ruin your evening. You're like, Dadgummit.
Secret Asian.
How am I
man.
supposed? Right,
Secret Asian. So
Secret Asian man, it's mine.
so
It's done.
So his porn was on fast forward, essentially. And I was like, well, listen, I mean, on a typical video, you can sometimes control the speed.
Right.
Sometimes you want to watch things slower or faster if you're just trying to engulf information.
Right.
But like this doesn't seem to be that. He's like, it just seems to be going really, really, really fast. I'm like, okay. Okay. And so we ended up resetting his phone completely, like wiping it and resetting it. But that did fix the.
Do you know why it did that?
I don't know, but I suspect that at some point he hit the thing that like did it in like 2 or 3 or 4 times speed.
Yeah, but
yeah. This is not somebody very tech savvy either, so.
Which is why he was really upset.
Yeah, so because I mean, like
just trying to have a moment for himself.
I get it. I mean, you want to watch it as you want to stretch it out, man.
He called Lindsay
because he couldn't get in touch with me. He called Lindsay,
and he actually told her what was going on.
Yes, he did. He said, "Where's Dave at?" Well, he's not here. I guess he's at work or he's driving home or like he's always on a call or something.
I mean, what did Lindsay say?
Lindsay's like, I don't know what to tell you about your porn. I mean,
all the jingle ladies, all the jingle ladies, all the jingle ladies, all the jingle ladies, all the jingle. Oh, it still does it from like whoop.
Yep.
Wait, real fast.
There you go.
It's like the Asian porn.
It is.
Wow.
I'm done.
So you had to wipe his whole phone out.
Yeah.
That has to be some kind of Guinness record.
It has
to be.
It has to be.
And it fixed it.
It did. Fix it.
So I mean, everything's in the cloud, right? So he could just capture it back down from the cloud.
Well, I'm assuming that it was. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, the data on his phone.
The the photos and all the things.
Yeah, the photos. Yeah.
Those were in.
Can you imagine?
Right. I was going to say, and what photos were on?
I like to save these for later. I call that the bank.
I was like, what have we been doing here?
But yeah, porn and
Fish nuggets.
pen and porn and fast forward. Whoo!
I mean, I don't really know. Speaking of getting screwed, let's talk about the college football playoff.
Yeah, I mean,
Because we missed it.
Well, you know what we're talking about.
A couple teams entered, and
Talk about playoffs. You
My
kidding
favorite.
me? Playoffs.
Jim Mora. And then you talk shit about Peyton, and you got fired. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Yeah.
That press conference with Peyton Manning was like, I can take the criticism. I can do that. And I was like, this guy's going to get fired. And there went Jim Mora right after that.
Yeah.
Because you criticized like the one good player you had on your team. At the time. And then they built up. Yeah.
So before we get into the FSU thing, I want to play a little clip from Mike Greenberg. Greeny, as we like to call him.
Old Greeny.
Who used to be on Mike and Mike and then decided he didn't want to do that anymore. And now he's on, I don't know, what's the name of the show?
It's Get Up.
Stick It in My Rectum.
Get Up. He does something else too. But Get Up is the morning show. That's the one where they get all fired up.
Good God.
Yeah, I mean they get all fired up over that.
Anyway, so this is Mike Greenberg talking about,
And I think this is on Get Up where
it is. I think it is. And this is him talking about Florida State getting completely railroaded and screwed out of the college football playoff.
In what other sport do we do that, though, Dan? I'm just curious. I mean, so let me present a possibility here, Heather. Let me throw this possibility out there. When the NFL season ends, let all the teams play all 17 of their games, and then I'm going to put together a committee. Former coaches: Rex Ryan, Mike Shanahan, Bill Parcells, Marv Levy, 98 years old. God bless him, still out there. You guys know football. You know a lot about football.
A little bit.
So why don't you decide which 14 teams will wind up getting in? You decide which the 14 best are, because you know football way better. What does it matter what happened on the field?
Maybe the system's broken.
Just put them all in. The system stinks, is the point. The system is dead wrong. Florida State scheduled a powerhouse. They played them on a neutral field and beat them. They won every game in front of them. They won what we call a Power 5 league, and 13 people sitting in a... No, I don't have to stop saying anything. They won all of their games. Anyone can get hurt at any time. They won every game that was... They did literally everything that could be asked of a team, and 13 people making the subjective, not objective decision that they aren't as good anymore left them out of it. You know what happened yesterday? Football became figure skating. Figure skating is something that judges decide.
Wow.
Because there is no objective way to decide if you were the better figure skater. But there is an objective way to judge football teams based on what they did. Florida State's strength of record was 3 at the end of the season.
Schedule, it's 55th.
Their strength of record is 3. They didn't lose a game.
Yeah.
In what other sport do we do that?
So sorry, it repeats. Yeah.
And there's a lot of debate here, because the thing that a lot of people were hanging their hat on was the fact that their strength of schedule was 55th, but in the decision things, the strength of record was one of the higher priority things that they were talking about. But also because of the committee, and it is a subjective thing, it's not an objective thing, they could look at how the teams were currently made up versus what they were doing earlier in the year. So if there's a coaching change or a player change or something like that, that was in the kind of the guidelines or the blueprint of what you're going to do to select somebody.
Yeah.
And it is in there. And I mean, and they weighted that. Obviously, that was the heaviest thing. And I'm not saying that's necessarily right. The problem, there were several different problems in that whole scenario. I mean, it was when Florida State won. As soon as Bama won, it was over. But the real problem was actually Texas winning.
Yeah.
Because if Texas had lost, none of this would even be being discussed. So I actually blame it more on Texas, because if they had not won, then Florida State stays in, Bama hops in there, and nobody says a word. You know what I'm saying? Because I just think that's how it would have gone. But Texas winning, actually, even though they should have won and they were supposed to win, them winning messed it up more than anything else, I think. That's just my opinion. Because, I mean, an SEC school had to get in there. I mean, you couldn't just completely shut them out, I don't think. I mean, so like I said, I blame it more on Texas winning. I don't like Texas anyway, but,
Yeah.
But I'm ready for you.
You ready?
I really am.
So,
because this, I mean, I text you, and I mean, we talked about it, and we were like, it's because you were like, it's going to happen, and I was like, man, that's really going to stink. Now, they are not the same team without Jordan Travis, of course, and it's not as much fun to watch. It's not. It's not. But again, they still won. Rodmaker's not a terrible QB. I mean, they're going to look different when they come in. What they would have come in for the playoff. And of course, their reward is now you get to play a hacked-off Georgia team.
Yeah.
Well, what a great reward that is. Of course, I mean, then you're like, that's a setup because they want Georgia to whoop that ass, so then there's no more discussion. It's like, see, it's the same thing with TCU. That's what people want to see.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So.
And I just have one more thing. Just
sure.
one more.
Go
just
ahead.
one more. Just one more.
Go ahead.
SEC.
The first thing I want to point out is this is the worst Bama team that we've seen in 15 years.
You think it's the worst?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
I don't think it's close.
That's a hard... I'd have to... Now, you probably have pulled more stats and looked at stuff.
I promise you I have...
Do you mean offensively?
I just
their defense is still pretty stout.
Sporadically, it is.
Well,
sporadically, it is. They needed a miracle to beat Auburn.
but see,
This conversation wouldn't have even happened.
But I feel like that was more. I mean, and here's the thing, when you play a real rival game like that.
Yeah.
I mean, even FSU and Florida. I mean, they have some battles where one team or the other was clearly better than the other. I mean, that sort of thing happens because that's just what good rivalry games. That's what happens. So, I mean, I think some of that was they were getting Auburn's best shot.
Yeah.
And Auburn had nothing.
I'm glad
to lose.
you said that.
But I mean, their offense.
I'm very glad you said
offense
that.
did not.
You said exactly what I wanted you to say.
That's good.
Alabama played Auburn, and Alabama definitely got Auburn's best shot. Is Auburn really that good?
No.
I don't know. Probably not.
No,
it's a rivalry game.
No, I'm
right?
saying no.
And I can still tell you definitively that Alabama, this is the worst team that Alabama's had in 15 years. Now, understand, that's like saying Mike Tyson's worst fight.
Understand. No, I get it.
It's still Mike Tyson.
No, right. And you even said, you called that Alabama would beat Georgia. I mean, you said that. You said it's going to happen.
I didn't think it was a question.
Right. Because Alabama is still a good football team.
So they beat Auburn, and they needed a miracle to do so. Florida also gave Florida State their best shot with, a backup quarterback for Florida State. Now, the difference between Auburn and Alabama game is that all the starters played.
Sure.
All the starters played.
And Florida had a backup, too, because their guy had broken his collarbone.
That's true. That's true.
I think it was collarbone.
It was in the swamp.
Yeah.
Nobody goes there and wins, no matter how good you are. I mean, it's a hard game to go play. And so with Tate Rodemaker, Florida State's defense won the game.
Right.
And so skip ahead to the next week, the ACC championship. It's like, we got to win this or we're not going to get in the college football playoff. And now we're down to our third string quarterback. It's like the 49ers last year. And what do? Our defense plays the game of their life and wins that game. They just do. The game of their life and wins that game because we cannot get any offense going with a guy who had practiced for a week.
And Louisville, no offense, not as good as their ranking had placed them.
Probably not. I mean, their offense was pretty impressive at one point in time, and for some reason something happened there.
I watched that game. It was there. If they had any, but if they'd really had much of anything, that was just one of the ugliest games that I've ever seen.
Oh, it was. It was terrible because
you still won. But you
had
still won.
A guy. You
still won. That's the whole point.
You had a guy who practiced for a week with the starters.
Right. No, I get that.
That's all he had.
I get that.
And so you end up winning the game, right? Because of the defense. After all that's done, you're the ACC champion. You've went through 3 quarterbacks, and you're undefeated. Bama lost this year to Texas.
They did.
Texas lost this year to Oklahoma.
They did.
Oklahoma lost a couple games.
Right.
Auburn had just gotten killed by Baked Potato University a few weeks before they played Alabama. Mm-hmm. So now you're in a situation where Bama beats Georgia in the SEC championship. Georgia, who had won for 2.5 years and not lost a game. And regardless of what you think about Georgia, they had manhandled just about everybody. They had some close games. But then, they played Bama, and Bama was a little too much for them. And it's really hard to carry win streaks on because you get everybody's best shot because everybody wants to be the team that beats the team. Duke, UNLV, right? I mean, everybody wants to be the team that beats the team that's unbeatable.
To be the man, you have to beat the man.
And so think about this. So you're telling me Georgia was number 1 all year with a couple of times where those dipshits from Ohio popped up there for whatever.
I get you.
Whatever.
I'm with you.
They're still the number 1 team in the country.
I'm with you.
They lose a game, the SEC championship game. And the team that beats them, you put them in the college football playoff and you exclude them and you put the one team that beat the team in the playoff. You can't tell me that is a level of fucking horse shit that we have never. I mean, listen, I'm taking. Let's take Florida State out of it. Okay, take Florida State out of it. I mean, here's what I know. I mean, given Florida State like 3 weeks with Rodemaker in practice and that defense, I think we could have hung with any of those teams. Do I think we could have won a national championship without some breaks? Probably not. Probably not.
That's a hard thing to.
But it's
I
like,
don't know.
but you're being subjective in that.
Offensively, I think that's the thing because your defense is great. You know, I don't know. I mean, maybe that much time. But here's that. But that's because then you're back to that whole thing of, well, it's not the same looking team versus what is the team that the only thing that's significantly different, and it is significant, is that your quarterback is gone. But everything else, I mean, you know, your wide receivers, your running backs, your defense, it's all the same. I think it was a hard thing, and I guess, you know, because Washington was undefeated, Michigan undefeated. You know,
Washington undefeated, by the way, that should have lost 16 ways from Sunday to Washington State because they got completely outplayed.
Brother, I agree. I mean, but the problem was they won. And they still have Michael Penix and all the things and blah blah blah. I'm just saying this is what people.
No, I get it.
And so you had 2 undefeated teams. You know, if one of those other ones loses, then you're in a whole nother different thing.
True.
But Michigan wasn't going to get beat. We knew this,
right?
And Washington won out. I thought for all the money in the world that Oregon would beat them. I was like, I cannot imagine that they're going to have this rematch here.
Oregon should have won.
And they laid an egg. No pun intended. They freaking laid an egg. I mean, that was terrible. And stinking Washington survives. And they're, you know, and so then what do you do? Because you've got to put, I mean, you're not going to, you know, Texas, we can't leave Texas out. So then are you going to leave Georgia at 4? Are you going to put Georgia all the way out? Are you going to exclude Texas, who's the conference champ with only 1 loss, beating Bama? You know, what do you do? I mean, I guess what should have happened was the top 3, the top 3 would have stayed the same. And then you put Texas in at 4. And I guess that technically could, because I don't think you couldn't leapfrog Alabama over Texas because Texas won the head-to-head. Now, it's not the same Alabama team that Texas beat. You know, Alabama didn't have much of anything figured out
that
offensively, and that was in week 2, and then Alabama goes on and wins 11 games in a row. So it's not the same team. So it's not apples to apples. I mean, I think, you know, playing later in the year, you know, playing in Tuscaloosa, I think Alabama wins the game instead of loses that game, and then it's a moot point, you know, in terms of whatever else happens. But I mean, hard to deny. Between Georgia and Alabama, somebody probably did need to get in.
Well,
but again, you technically have 3 undefeated teams, and you just booted one of them out because they didn't have the kind of the eye candy factor for the bowl game potentially.
There's a couple of things that bothered me.
I'd say there was a lot.
It was a lot. But 2 of the main things, I'm thinking, let's say this happened in the middle of the year. Where would have Alabama wouldn't have jumped up to number 1 or number 2, number 3, or even number 4. Georgia would have probably dropped to 4th.
Or maybe even 3rd, you know, because I mean,
right. And Alabama would have been 5th or something around there.
Right.
Like it wouldn't have made that difference. I can tell you what I believe happened here. 100%. And they can say what they want about Jordan Travis. And I can tell you right now, I think if Jordan Travis, even if he was healthy, they win the ACC championship by like 45 points with the Texas and Alabama thing.
No.
Here's what I think. This is my honest to God opinion of the college football playoff with 4 teams. It's just my opinion. And guys, you can tell me I'm wrong. And I'm just not. I'm right. But that's okay. You can tell me I'm wrong.
Dave, man, narcissist at work.
There are only 2 slots available in a 4-team playoff for teams outside of the SEC. That's just the fucking truth. And that committee can say whatever they want, and they can ride whatever slick dildo they want to. They get out there in front, and they're like, well, we slaved over this for hours and hours. You piece of shit. No, you did not. You had your mind made up that morning. You guys had cocktails, coffee, slapped hands, had a nice orgy with each other, played 4 ways around the world, jacked each other off, and then got in front of the TV screen and said, God, it was, oh, God, what a decision. I'm heartbroken to even say, fuck yourself in the ass. Boo. You boo shitwad. That's not what happened. What happened was you said you want 2 fucking teams out of the SEC. That's what you did. And you know how you could do that without making it look like you didn't do that? Put a team that's going to be in the SEC next year in there. Oh, no one will ever figure that out. Because we're all idiots and we can't figure that shit out. You stupid fucking son of a bitch. Listen, you fucking assholes. All of you. That fucking committee. Listen, I can tell you right now, I do not think Florida State would have won the national championship. I do not think that would have happened. But what you did is you said the SEC is so much more important, and everyone else in the nation plays such an inferior form of football that you are not fucking worthy to play with us up here in the SEC. The SEC had the worst year it fucking have in years.
It does just mean more though, Dave.
It means more of less because they had the worst year that they've had, the SEC. They just did. They just did. Georgia was barely getting by in games. Bama, for all the people that says, well, Bama, they're a great team. Listen, there's about 4 games they should have fucking lost that they didn't because they played like shit. This is the most sporadic Alabama team that there's been in 15 years. Georgia was hanging on. You know that. They were down 14 points to like Missouri or somebody in the first. Georgia was finding ways to win.
Of course, Missouri is a top 10 team. And I'd have to pull.
LSU was pretty good too when we beat the shit out of them in the first week of the season.
I get that.
Here's all I know.
I get that.
All I know is there are 3 teams in the Power 5 conferences. 3 teams that won every damn game you put in front of them. And I don't care what quarterback they won it with, if they stole signs and cheated, whatever. They found ways to win the game. There's only 3 of them, and only 2 of them in their college football playoff because you got to have a Big Ten team school in there. And then you got to have another school. You got to have another school that's just flashy. That's not one of the norms, right? You got to have a not out of so you got to put a Pac-12 team in there. So there's Washington, and then you got to put 2 SEC teams in. Well, we didn't. We put Texas and Alabama. Well, dipshit. Everybody saw what you did. Everybody knows what you did. It was. You're full of shit. Florida State should have been in. Do I think they would have won a national championship? I will say it 1,000,000 times. No, I do not.
Do you think how much of the TCU effect factored in? Because I really do think that there was concern because y'all's offense is terrible without Travis. I know Rodemaker came in with a lot of hype and all that, but it's bad. I can, and I don't know. And I don't know how much 3 weeks would necessarily. It might help. I don't know, and so I can't really speculate that. But I do think that from what happened last year really got them. Because
I think they did the same thing. I don't think they did anything different. I think they put 2 SEC teams in, and I think Washington's TCU. Now, listen, Washington may make me eat my words.
That could.
Right? But I think Texas is going to kick the shit out of them, and I think Michigan's going to beat Alabama, and then I think Michigan's probably going to end up winning this thing, and then you'll have 2 undefeated teams in the nation.
I know. Until y'all play Georgia.
No, we're going to beat Georgia.
No.
Yep.
That ain't happening.
Georgia's got a bunch of people not playing in the game.
If they, and I don't know who all.
Well, so does Florida State too. But
do they? I have not. I've only been looking at
Johnny Wilson's not going to play because he's going to the draft. But I think a lot of people are looking at this bowl from Georgia and Florida State like, nah, I don't care.
And I'd have to look. I don't know who all. I've been looking at Tennessee in terms of who's opting in, opting out of that. Of course, I mean Jalen Milroe already announced he's coming back for his senior year and that sort of stuff. From that,
The only difference is if Florida State loses a game, it'll be the last game of the year, which should have probably been the national championship game. Here's what I know, man, and I've coached football. It's hard to win a game. It just is. And it doesn't matter how terrible we played teams with. I mean,
so when Florida State loses, can I say, "What's that coming down the track?"
Sure, I don't care.
It's the Mean Machine in the red and black.
You're never going to sing that song.
No, I'm not. I'm stopping
Georgia.
right now because I hate Georgia. No, you'll never hear me sing any of
It's
that.
just the whole thing. Here's
I'm
what
not
you
even going to
did.
watch that game because there's just no way.
What Greenberg said,
can't get
what
excited.
Mike Greenberg said was 100% right. You've taken it and you've basically demoted it to figure skating.
Right.
I mean, it's what you've done.
It's very, very subjective. Yeah. I mean,
of course,
it's gymnastics, figure skating, the things where the Russian judge would always crap on the American, and all that. It's the same thing.
I don't know what Florida State did wrong. That's what I don't understand. It's like, okay, so what are we? So again, if you're trying to pick the best matchups, I don't even think you did that. Let's take Florida State out of it. Let's just say you're right. Without Jordan Travis, and I agree, they're not the same team. They got a great defense, but I don't know if they can score points. Or all right, great. They're 20th in the nation. Move them down. Whatever. Do you think that these are the four best teams and the two best games you're going to see on January 1st? I mean, really?
No, because I mean, you're gonna hate this, but I think Georgia and Alabama should have been in there.
Listen, I could have at least understood that.
I really do. If you're really going on who is the best right now, forget the other two, but Georgia and Alabama should have both been in there. That's my honest opinion. I mean, now the problem is you can't. If Texas had lost, we wouldn't be having this conversation. You see what I'm saying? Like Texas and Washington are actually the problems because you're putting in, Washington. I mean, and see, and of course, then they'll feel justified if Texas beats the crap out of them. They'll say, "See, we knew Texas was one of the better teams." Well, then it's like, well, see, then maybe you should have left Washington out of the mix and let somebody else get in there. I don't know.
I can tell you what the problem is. Here's the problem.
There's a lot. There's a lot of things to not like, and there's a lot of
I can tell you this. ESPN is number one because you cannot tell me they didn't have you can't tell me they don't have input into this.
It's all rigged. I mean, where's Brian? We need to can we call Brian right now? Think Brian's awake?
I mean,
he's on the West Coast. He's awake.
No, he's an East Coast guy.
I thought he was on the West Coast.
No, he's an East Coast.
Wasn't he in Wisconsin or something when we talked to him?
No, he lived there at one point, but I don't think he's living there.
Yeah, he was on there when we talked to him.
Was in Wisconsin? Mm-hmm. Well, that's not the West Coast.
Well, where wasn't he up there? He was somewhere. Central Time. He's on Central Time, Mountain Time, whatever it is.
But
yeah, he's up there.
So
the
problem is ESPN and the circle jerk inside that room. That's the problem. Because let me tell you something. That whole thing that ESPN does every year where they're like, we're seeing these for the first time, just like you.
Right.
Guys, I've done broadcasting before.
Sure. Well, I get it.
I've done giveaways before. I can just tell you this, folks. Very little surprises anybody. And
sure. I mean,
and like even award shows where you're like, well, we're going to open up this envelope for the first time. Other people know. Because magically when they say, and the Oscar goes to Dave Mann, the camera goes right to me in a millisecond.
Right. How did they, it's those quick reaction force.
Come on.
Quick reaction force.
Yeah. It's, I always used to say, it's like wrestling, right? It's like pro wrestling. We didn't get to talk to the backyard wrestling guys tonight, but it's like pro wrestling. It's like, how did they have that person's music ready so fast when they won that match? Because everybody already knew.
Because the outcome was
that when Alabama beat Georgia, I think that set the motion, but I don't think it would have mattered. I do not think. I think if Alabama had lost by 35 points to Georgia, I don't think the top four would have changed, to be perfectly honest with you. I still don't think Florida State would have got in because I think the committee had already made their mind up that Florida State was out. I think they'd already made their mind up. I don't think it would have mattered.
I think, but two-loss Alabama wouldn't have made it, though. Not with losing the title game. I don't think you can't do that. Now maybe.
Well, you also can't keep a conference champion that's undefeated out either, right?
Well, I mean, I would say this though, but could you really do that? I mean, because that I don't think they could have done that.
ESPN has a hard on for the Big Ten and the SEC, and that's an eternal erection. It's an eternal erection. I don't think this thing had anything to do with politics. I think this was clearly, let's put 2 SEC teams in. Shit, if we put Texas in, man, no one will think that we're putting 2 SEC. I honest to God think it is that simple, and no one will ever convince me otherwise. I think it's that simple. I think they said, okay, let's just put Texas and Bama in. Sure. And it happened. And that was it.
It would have been interesting to have been in there. Just to really see, because like you said, you're saying there's like minimal thought that went into it.
I don't think there was any thought.
I think that would be interesting to know. And we'll never know. That's the thing.
No.
I think if so, let's say for the sake of argument, let's say they did put a lot of thought into it. You could really get yourself. You could really get yourself into some challenging stuff because I mean, what do you do? So I mean, I guess.
Hang on. You said they put some thought into it. Hang on. Sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
No. I'm saying for the sake of argument. Sure. I'm not there.
I know.
If they didn't think about it, then they didn't think about it. But I'm not there. You're not there. So we really don't know. We don't, right?
I'm being subjective.
Well, it works out well for the SEC.
It sure does.
Champions for life. SEC.
Champions of life. Isn't that what? What's his name?
That was Butch. That was Butch. Butch. Oh God, Butch.
Brick by brick.
He's so funny. Getting whooped at anyway. Arkansas State made a bowl game, so there you go. The Wolf Pack or whatever they are.
There you go.
Anyway, and I'm just saying for the sake of argument, because I don't know, because they might have sat there for 15 minutes.
We were not there.
Smoked a cigar and said, "We got it. It's in the bag."
I think there was a noise.
We're going to bed. Could have been. Somebody was pivot man. Somebody was choking. It could have happened.
You couldn't have heard the SEC chants because their mouths were full.
I don't know. No, it's usually all the other teams that are sucking our dick because we're winning the championship. Y'all would have won the Super Bowl and drive off in a Hyundai. Anyway, no. But, what do you do? Because, by that same token, Ohio State gets punished. They lose one game, but that is the game. That's why they call it the game. You lose that. And you're out, but you still only have one loss.
I know.
But so you didn't even get a chance to play for your title game because you lose that game, and that's who decides who's playing out of, who's going to be one of the top teams.
That one's a little different to me, but go ahead.
But same thing. Right. But 2-loss Alabama doesn't make it in because then you're sitting there almost ishing like Ohio State, where it's like, okay, you didn't win your conference and you've got this set of losses. There it is. But you've still got, and Oregon loses, so they're 2 losses, so there they are. And so again, you're kind of saying, where does that leave us? Well, you've got 1 loss Ohio State, you've got 1 loss Texas, you've got 1 loss Alabama, you've got the 1 loss Georgia who loses their title game. Then you've got 3 undefeated teams, and you're sitting there, and did they do the right thing? Probably not. Did they do the thing that makes me happier because the SEC school got in? Yeah, and I do think some SEC school did deserve to get in.
Of course they did.
And that's not a bullcrap answer. Like I said, if you really went on 2 of the best teams, if you just went purely on
the
best
SEC
teams,
school was number 1 for most of the year.
That's what I'm saying. But so then it probably should have been Georgia, right? We're back to that. But Bama putting all that together, and I get it, it's Saban and all the things. It's like the Duke of football, Duke in basketball gets but really you should have had both Alabama and Georgia in there, and then everybody's mad because then either Texas or whoever else gets kicked out of there too. But you can't do that because then there's just no good way to do it other than the 3 undefeated teams that all won their conference, you put them in, and then you should have put Texas in over Bama because Texas had the head-to-head.
But by that philosophy, then Bama shouldn't have been looked at the same way as they were, right? Because then they lost to Texas. So if you're looking,
that's where I think they said we can't, because it's confounding information. Like, well, your conference championship matters, but then they it doesn't matter if you're Florida State.
Because what they did was they got in the DeLorean, right? And they hit 88 miles an hour. And they said 7.5 weeks ago, Texas beat Alabama. So that matters, right? That's what they did.
Right.
Because Texas looked like shit in some other games.
Yeah.
I mean, they did.
Yeah.
And then
I agree.
comes Bama, who I don't think looked good that much of the year. I think they beat the teams they were supposed to beat. I think they should have lost a couple of games that they didn't, like to Auburn. But they found a way to win. Good for them. And then they beat Georgia, the number 1 team in the country. Here's what I can tell you. If it had ended up Michigan won, whatever. Michigan,
I'm with you.
Michigan, Washington, Bama, Georgia in the top 4, I could have at least at that point said, okay, Alabama beat the number 1 team in the country. Washington's undefeated. They beat a really good Oregon team.
So Texas being in there actually makes you madder, so to speak, than anything else.
Texas
with Florida State not being in there.
The Texas thing almost seems like they won.
No, and I see what you're saying.
They pulled like a lottery ticket out of their ass.
And so that gets back to your argument of they did basically put.
Also, I'm a Niners fan, and if it's from Texas.
But I understand, but that's what you're saying. That it's in essence, it's 2 SEC schools because Texas is going there.
Because there's no other logic.
Instead of putting Georgia in there, and it's hard. I mean, Georgia played a really good Missouri team, and Missouri is really good this year. And I mean, and they shut them down. I mean, they obviously whooped up on us. I mean, they beat some decent teams, and I'm not saying we're not a top tier nothing. But beat some decent programs along the way and had the number 1 slot the whole year, and then you lose that and you're completely out.
It's just...
And it's hard. And again, it's like, I mean, Kirby said that. He's like, can you really tell me that my team's not one of the 4 best? Truly one of the 4 best.
Totally agree with him.
But there again, then you're saying you're back in that of, well, are you going to say that Florida State's better than a Bama or a Texas team at this moment with what's going on? They said no.
But again, we're putting Texas in because they beat Alabama, who beat the number 1 team in the country. And by that math,
and one loss with a Big 12 title.
Texas almost lost. Or Texas lost to Oklahoma.
Right, they did lose to Oklahoma.
So you're the math. There is no logic in the world.
Right,
there's no algorithm. These guys are blowing each other and smoking cigars, and oftentimes they get them confused. And this was decided that they came in that morning like, "Hey, we're all thinking the same thing, right? Okay, cool. Whew.
Let's have some coffee and a bagel."
Yeah, and then something to drink to wash our mouth out with the sperm that's floating around. Jackasses. And then have the gall. Here's what I would have rather the dude said. Here's what I would rather. Listen, hey, we got together, and here's what we think.
Boo is not going to be your boo.
Like, I think Michigan's 1. I think Washington's 2. I think Texas is 3, and I think Bama's 4. I think they're the 4 best teams in the country. I understand that's going to make people upset, but that's what we came to. I would rather him say that than, oh, God, it was... Oh, I mean, there was that night that I was fighting brain, testicular, and ear cancer, and I didn't think I was going to live, but this was so much worse. This was so much worse. I mean, it just broke my heart. Shove it up your ass, you piece of shit. You're a lying sack of shit. A lying sack of shit. Don't give me that crap.
Oh, shoot.
This is like getting fired from your job. It's like, we really think you do a good job here. Well, then
why are you firing me?
Then, I mean, I flash my dick one time at work and then I get in trouble. But there's no sense to it, whatever. And again, if you put Georgia and Bama in there, okay. The Texas logic makes no sense to me whatsoever. I don't, okay, they beat Bama, so you're saying Texas is as good as they were then, but Bama's better now? Well, wouldn't that mean that Bama's way better than Texas now?
Right.
Well,
I agree.
But Boo said that Texas, they beat Bama. They sure did. Texas also got their ass kicked by Oklahoma. Oklahoma also got their ass kicked by 2 or 3 other schools.
Oklahoma State.
I mean, it's like, by what magic fairy dust are you snorting up your nose with peanut M&Ms that you come up with this shit?
Setting the Guinness World Record.
It blows me away. And again, I never thought I would say this. I never thought this would come out of my mouth. But the BCS was so much better.
Oh.
And God, it was terrible. God, it was terrible. Because let me tell you this, had the same logic happened in 1998, Tennessee would have played somebody else. They wouldn't have played Florida State because Florida State didn't have their starting quarterback. Hey, right. Tennessee fans like to forget that. But they didn't have their starting quarterback. Marcus Alton. So they would have played whoever was number 3. I don't know who number 3 was.
I don't remember back.
I mean, it's probably Oklahoma, Nebraska, or
I don't remember.
Or Miami, or
I don't remember who it was.
But whatever. But so, I mean, Tennessee might have played a team with their actual starting quarterback, and, who knows? So, I mean, by that logic, right? But the BCS said, no, you guys are undefeated conference champions. I mean, you're 1 and 2. Like, you should play each other. Hey. And you know what? You know what happened in that game? It's magical, folks. I want you to listen. And I understand what you're thinking. And maybe you're too young to have remembered that game. Oh, Dave remembers it. I remember it vividly.
I do too.
Because Tennessee's defense played one of the best games I've seen a college football team play. I mean, I really believe that. And again, they played Florida State.
You'll get Peter Warwick had 1 catch for 8 yards.
And again, they played at Florida State.
And it wouldn't have mattered who was throwing to his ass because he wasn't going to get open.
Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. But
not a chance. Not against that D, brother.
Florida State
no way.
Didn't have their starting quarterback in. But again, it was a 7-point game.
It's okay. That's all right.
For the national championship.
That's
7 points.
That's right.
7 points.
You all also had a good defense, if you will recall.
We did.
It was a pretty darn good D.
You know what's funny about that?
It was a pretty darn good D.
You know what we got this year?
You got a pretty good D.
We got a really good D. We actually have a better defensive line now.
But you know what you didn't have in either year? A national championship.
No. You know what's funny is we might
SEC.
We might end up the only undefeated team in the country when it's all said and done.
I mean, that's a legit thing. Yes, that's a legit thing. I think, that would be interesting.
I'm going to laugh my ass off if that happens too. I'm like,
hey,
and there's all those other teams,
and that's going to make them. That's going to look even worse than it already does. It is. It's going to look really bad. It's going to look really bad and say, look at that. They won every single game, and they didn't even get to sit at the table to give it a shot, no matter what, no matter who's playing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, that stinks. It does.
I mean, the 49ers got to the NFC Championship with their 4th string quarterback last year. So, just saying. I'm just saying. Well, technically he was the 3rd, but yeah. He's playing pretty good this year too, but just saying. He's playing pretty good.
I think that's where the analytics really just fail because, I mean, obviously, if you actually looked at him at Iowa State in college, he was not an awful quarterback.
No.
I mean, and got drafted as Mr. Irrelevant. I mean, that's some metric thing that's screwed up because that's anyway, it is what it is. That's we're getting on something different.
I still remember when Bill Walsh drafted Joe Montana,
I do think
and everybody said, "What?" Well,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Skinny legs.
I will say, I think your ACC commissioner's probably hating his life just a little bit because the other folks wanted to go to 8 teams this year, and he was staunchly against it.
He was, yeah.
And if he'd have just shut his mouth and let it happen, then we wouldn't be having any of this discussion at all because all of them would be in there. And it would be pretty awesome because then you'd be getting to see what's happening. Now, what would be kind of crappy is that who got the buys. Yeah. Because obviously it helps to get the bye week, and that would be the part where if somebody had a bye in there, if they did it that way, that would be kind of messed up. Or you just have everybody play 3 games. I mean, you could do that too.
So for 8 teams, it's going to be 2 teams outside the SEC, and then 6 teams in the SEC. Is that right? Is that how that works?
I was thinking more is about like 5/8. I was thinking, kind of that.
I mean,
it's
that's what's going to happen.
You want to have about 62.5%.
You can move
SEC.
Troy to the SEC, and they'll get in. College football hates the ACC. They just do. Florida State just needs to get out of that conference and move on with their life.
I mean, they keep threatening.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to find a loophole.
But they just...
$500 million is a lot.
They just can't do it. I mean, if you had some real boosters, you might be able to get something done. Have them pay it off.
Where our richest booster is a jackass and doesn't claim that he even went to the university anymore. So,
right?
Coach Prime.
I mean, how messed up is that?
Well, when he plays the bowl game, wait. Oh, never mind.
I know. How about that?
Him and Florida University will be sitting together watching college football. Go Noles.
Go Vols. SEC. Just means more.
It just spins more. Sorry, what?
I just feel that's right. We know how to win again and again and again and again and again and again.
You know how to get money, for sure.
And I think Bama's gonna win it.
I think Michigan. Well, we'll do our predictions not next week, but the week after.
It's gonna be interesting. Boy, if Bama wins, you're never gonna hear the end of it. Not from me, but.
Oh, I know.
Everybody's going to say, see, we were justified.
Oh, yeah, and I'll say, yes, Texas did a great job, or sure. Texas is going to beat Washington.
If y'all get it handed to you, that's going to be bad. And I hate Georgia.
I do too.
You feel any better?
Not really.
I'm sorry.
I'm drinking my Monster, though. It'll be fine.
It's okay.
It'll be good.
It's okay. You had the fish. You got the fish sweats.
I got those out of me now.
I think I'm fired up,
I think I'm good now.
I mean, it's not like we ate any stolen crab legs or anything like that.
No.
I mean, there's nothing.
You win national championships when you do that. It's episode 66 of the David Doc podcast. All things David Doc on our website at DaveDoc066.com, DaveAndDoc.doc. Please subscribe on YouTube.
Thank you all for subscribing.
Thanks, Canada,
watching.
Germany, Russia.
And listening.
Russia.
Russia. It's like Uranus, Russia.
Yeah, Russia.
That's it. Thank you all very much. We'll have it, run it back again next week or in 2 weeks. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yeah.
And we'll probably see you after Christmas.
Yeah, probably take a week off and then see you after Christmas. Make our
bowl
official
season will be in full swing.
Yeah, we'll make our official college football playoff picks.
SEC.
Well, shit, man, they got a 50% chance to win.
SEC.
I'm gonna go throw up now, folks.
Roll Tide, roll.
See you, folks.